Hey everybody, Alex Anselme here with Anselme Tennis. Today we're going to find out how far in front of you can you toss the ball on your serve without going too far in front. We ready? Let's do this. So probably the most common tip you've ever gotten on your serve, everybody's probably gotten this at least once if you've taken a tennis lesson before. I know I asked around to a lot of people. I was just kind of like, what's the tip you've probably heard the most on your, for the toss on your serve? And the one that came back the most is, well, toss the ball out in front of you. Toss the ball out in front of you. Which is true, that you do want that toss to get out in front, maybe a little bit in front of the baseline, but a lot of times it's left at that. So I'm going to try and clarify today and explain to you how far in front you can toss. Try and make it easy for you to remember, so that way you don't end up tossing the ball too far in front. All right, so one thing we have to do to figure out how far in front I can toss the ball when I serve is we're going to have to establish a range, okay? Because the toss also will vary a little bit depending on if I'm hitting a kick serve, a slice serve, a flat serve, if it's a first serve, a second serve. So I'm going to show you how we're going to establish this range in terms of how far in front of the baseline here I can toss the ball on my serve without risking getting in trouble or missing my serve, okay? So one thing you see a lot of players do before they hit the serve is they're going to be bouncing the ball right there before they hit their serve, okay? Now that area where you're bouncing the ball before you hit the serve, directly above that is the spot where you're probably going to get max power on your serve, okay? And this will be for a flat serve. So let me show you how you figure out your range here on your serve. For a flat serve, max power is generally going to be right above where I like to bounce the ball naturally like this. So the furthest in front I can actually go is how far in front I can bounce the ball without losing my balance. So I'm going to go and I'm going to see how far I can go before I fall over, right? So I took a note with my eye and I saw that I can go about this far in front before I lose my balance on my serve, okay? So now I know that after that, okay, I'm way too far in front, and I'm definitely gonna miss my serve if I go past that. So to find out the range for kick and slice, I just have to draw the semicircle around here so that I know that I'm equidistant. And I'm gonna basically be like this, okay? And so what that's gonna look like is that. You're going to end up with this kind of a range around, which shows about how far into the court you can toss the ball, whether it's for a flat serve, a kick serve, or a slice serve, okay? Obviously, I think if you're looking at this, you're thinking this range is pretty wide, and yes, it is pretty wide. Remember that what I'm showing right here is really like kind of the maximum level, where beyond this, if your toss is going beyond that, you are definitely falling over and you're off balance and probably guaranteed to miss your serve. So that being said, if you look at where it was max power when I'm bouncing the ball is kind of dead center of this range, okay? So we want to imagine is that our best tosses are this semicircle inside in the middle of this range, okay? That's where your best tosses are. And the more you're getting towards the extremes, either the extreme max or extreme minimum, then less good the toss will probably be, okay? Generally about halfway right here, that's about how far in front you would like to toss the ball. And you can go maybe just a little bit beyond that without having to catch the ball and redo the toss all over again, and maybe still be able to make your serve. But what I'm showing you right here is basically, that's the outermost limit you want to go. Beyond that, you know you're going to miss, okay? So use that and try it. Everybody has to do it for themselves. This is what works for me personally, based on my height, my physique and everything. But you can imagine if somebody, I'm 6 foot, a player who's 6'5" or more, they have, longer arms, they can probably reach further in front. Their maximum is going to be further out. My maximum might be close to actually what works well for somebody who's 6'7" or something. Everybody's going to have to find out their range, but obviously they'll be more or less, similar over here. And anybody else who's about 6 foot tall like me, well, this is what your range should look like. All right, well, I hope that helps you understand a little bit how far you have to work with your serve toss. You know, it's better to be more precise, obviously, but it's also good to understand that you do have this range that you can work with, and the serve toss doesn't have to be, you know, perfect every single time. Because although I do tell beginners a lot of times to, sometimes if you toss the ball up, you know, just and it's a bad toss, catch it again. Because sometimes when you start playing, you don't know that you're allowed to do that. The more you advance in levels, I like to get away from that and not catch the ball too much or too often on your toss. I mean, if you do every once in a while, fine. But if you do it too often, you're just creating this kind of hesitation when you're tossing, and overall, that's not going to be good. It's fine at the beginner level, just to, you know, help you not develop bad habits by always tossing off to too far to the side or in front or behind and trying to hit the ball that way. So if you have a bad toss, just do it over again. But you know, even at intermediate and advanced levels, it's good to know you've got a range to work with. Even if the toss is not perfect, but it's within your range, I would still not like catch it and do it again. I would still just go after it. You know, I mean, speaking honestly, like I know I've had plenty of times where maybe it was my intention to go for a flat serve down the tee, and my toss got away from me a little bit and it went a little behind me. And so I just added a little bit of kick to the serve. That's it, just not very much. If any of you have seen my 4 ways to vary your kick serve, basically what I did on that one is I just hit a more weighted kick serve. So one that just has more power on it. But you adapt and you improvise sometimes to the toss going a little bit errant. I think sometimes it's better to do that than it is to catch the ball again and do that over and do that too often. Because that also it might just throw your opponent off a little bit as well. I mean, how can they anticipate your serve when you didn't even know what you were going to hit until the moment that it came to hit the ball? So yeah, you can try that a little bit. Let me know what you think, or if you have any questions. You know, everybody should more or less have a range that looks like this, with, you know, a couple centimeters here and there, depending on how tall you are. But yeah, until the next time, it's Alex Anselme saying see you on the next video.